Bananas. Hello guys, I am Archie Smith from Archie's Orchids and today is Tuesday Tip. Today we'll be talking bananas and how to grow them more specifically. This is slightly aside from all my orchid videos I do, but some people may appreciate care videos for other plants. But first, I don't feel like we're really in the right atmosphere. Let's add a bit of mist in here, like in a rainforest, a touch of a burn. That may have been too much. I feel like I've gone slightly bananas in this atmosphere, but we're fine. Alright, so there's three main things to think about when you're talking about growing bananas. First off is light requirements, so what gets on the leaves, water and food, and temperature. So light requirements first, they will do great in full sun or bright light. Anywhere below bright light, you may struggle with them. They are actually rainforest floor plants, so they may tolerate some shadier things, but they do grow a lot better with higher light. With these guys in the greenhouse where they are getting all the light basically, I get about a leaf this size a week. That one's grown in a week, and as you can kind of see that one down there. So that really covers the light requirement and all the depth that is needed. Let's talk about temperature next. Alrighty, so for temperature wise, really, these guys will do okay in temperate climates. Obviously, I live in the UK, but I grow these in a tropical greenhouse all year round. That's a lie, not really all year round. In the winter, I have them from about September onwards. I have them in the greenhouse heated to 24 degrees daytime to 19 night times, which is achievable in the house, but I just prefer them in the greenhouse. So don't let them freeze. I generally don't let mine go below 5 degrees, but some muses can tolerate 5 degrees and probably you're risking it a bit minus 5 degrees. But when it gets below freezing, always fleece them, so with like a cotton wool or some horticultural fleecing device. But for temperature, yeah, really don't let them freeze too much and they will do fine. You can plant them out when all danger of frost has passed. I mean, this one goes out beginning of June, and so does this one. These are the two I have right now. This one has kind of like a little climber going up the trunk of it. I got a pair of these from Rachel for a Christmas present, which was awfully nice of her, and I just love them like that. So yeah, so that's for temperature. So now we need to talk about the watering requirements. Remind me to turn that smoke machine off in a minute, because I keep using it because it's really addictive. So for watering, really what I do, I keep them moist all year round. I do let them dry out slightly more in the winter, obviously, because they not need a rest as such, but they can tolerate going dry for winter. But I just keep mine moist and growing. If you don't have room for a banana like this, say in your living room, if you're growing in a house, then what you can do, you can cut the leaves off of this guy. And I'm not sure if this is an Ensete or a Musa. My guess is a Musa for this one. I'm not really an expert on IDing them, I just know how to grow them. But you can cut the leaves off, especially like this one. I've done that in the past. You can see how I've cut the leaves off when they dry up and go old. But yeah, so for when you cut the leaves off of them and try to overwinter them inside, don't water them really until active growth happens, if you let active growth happen, but they will do just fine like that. But I keep mine growing and alive all year round, so I water them, keep them moist. Yeah, obviously free draining compost, perlite, mosses and things like that, but obviously with a mix of compost as well, like ordinary potting soil like this. I have in my mix, I have fine bark like that, bits of chopped up sphagnum moss, perlite, I don't know if you can see that, and potting mix. So it's free drained, replicating rainforest soils, because I'm like that. So that's watering covered. See, this is really simple. The final thing that's important to talk about here is feeding. Alright, so finally, I'm in a leaf. Finally is we're going to be talking about feeding. Now these guys are fairly hungry plants. Because obviously they grow so fast. I mean, mine grow, like I said, about a leaf a week. So yeah, feeding, I use pretty much every other watering in winter, because it's an active growth. Just a standard, I use Tomorite actually, which is a tomato feeder, diluted of course. But yeah, I use that once or twice, no, sorry, every second watering. So it gives them a nice lot of food to go on for. You can also use the feeding tablets and the feeding sticks. I've used those in the past, but I just like to do it better with a dilute feed. And that just is the same for every genus and species of them. It's really simple, and in the summer I feed them once a week along with their watering, and they do just fine. Once a month in the summer I will flush out the pot with just ordinary water. This will be rainwater or reverse osmosis water, just so you can be sure there are no other salts in the tap water you're using. But that generally is the feeding, and that is generally how to care for a banana. If I've missed anything, or there's anything you want to know, put it down in the comments and I will try to get back to that. I don't get notifications for comments anymore, which is silly, but I always check. So if you're like commenting on this video is 8 months old, it will probably be like a couple of weeks before I answer that question, but I will get around to it. Alright, so that wraps it up. Cinnamon spice. That was weird. I don't know.
Basil spice.
Do you know them?
I do know them.
Go on there.
Posh spice, scary spice, sporty spice, baby spice, ginger spice.
That about concludes this video, guys. Anything you want to say, Melita? Or my lovely orchid?